We're going to start first in Los Angeles, California, where hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters remain behind barricades on the UCLA campus. And this, despite police orders to leave. You can see there from those latest pictures that police officers are now poised to move in on their fortified encampment. All of this is coming one day after violent clashes broke out when the pro-Palestinian student encampment was attacked by counter-protesters. Administrators and campus police at UCLA have faced intense criticism for failing to act more quickly to stop the attack. Now, at least 15 protesters suffered injuries in that confrontation yesterday, part of a recent spate of escalating violence that's occurring in college campuses nationally over the Israel-Hamas war. Well, we're going to get the very latest from UCLA now with our correspondent Wassim Cornet, who is there. Wassim, what more can you tell us about what's happening tonight?
Hey, good afternoon, Jeannie. It's a very fast-moving developments here at the UCLA campus. I don't know if you can see behind me. There were, or there still are, just a few dozen people there stationed on the stairs because for about the past 15 minutes or so, we saw about 50 or so police officers in riot gear waiting at the bottom of the stairs, presumably to try to enter the encampment. Once again, we heard many of these protesters for several minutes saying that they needed shields, they needed helmets, screaming obviously things like "We will not leave," "Hands off our campus." And so that is what the atmosphere was for a few minutes. And now it appears that that movement has moved to another, the attention rather has moved to another location, to the other side of the encampment. I don't know if this was a technique by police to try to divert attention from where they were initially expected to make an entrance. It looks relatively calm right now, but again, there have been several moments this evening, this early morning rather, where there were fears that police were going to make an imminent intervention. It got to the point where they did actually make it into the encampment, and then they got an order to fall back, or they were pushed back by some of those pro-Palestinian supporters.
Now, it seemed there was a lot of criticism about UCLA, of the authorities, the UCLA campus police yesterday on how things were dealt with. Has there been any fallout from that so far? Or did the university address the issue with its students today?
Well, just to remind our viewers, it took police authorities almost 3 hours to show up on campus. It took them another 60 to 90 minutes before they actually started to clear the fighting zone, the incident zone where between those two sides. And so it was just very shocking to watch that play out live on local TV. It's not a case of police not being aware of what was going on. We have heard now that the president of the University of California Network has ordered an independent review, not only into the university's planning for such incidents, but also into the police response. The Los Angeles Times came out with an early investigation, perhaps some early answers, saying that in fact it was sort of a battle almost between UCLA and UCLA police, and also on the other hand, LAPD and the California Highway Patrol, who were not able to decide what kind of police presence they wanted, what kind of police response they wanted on campus. Initially, UCLA wanted a scaled down response with no riot gear. They did agree later to a larger police response, but then by that time, they got the final green lights to intervene at 1 a.m. and they weren't on campus until 1:45 in the morning. So it took a while. Obviously, a lot of anger here on campus. As you mentioned, 15 pro-Palestinian protesters injured by those projectiles being thrown by the pro-Israeli group. One person was sent to hospital with a head injury, and we did see in the afternoon of Wednesday, students and faculty members all gathering at the quad right in front of where the incidents happened, saying that they were appalled that these peaceful protesters were attacked in such a manner.